Peace, what up? This is Doc Blake, Ethereal TV, bringing to you the 30th episode of The Last Piece to the Puzzle. The motto for me is silver, gold, and cryptos equals freedom because they are decentralized assets and they're going to play an important part in the immediate, the short term, and the long term futures. So let's go down our checklist for today. Bringing to you ethereal.com, www.ethereal.com. Definitely go check the website out. Go purchase my cousin's book called Check This Out. It's $21. It's also available on Amazon, but the website is legit and you are able to purchase it. So definitely support. And inbox me or email, send an email to the Ethereal website. That's ethereal@gmail.com. We have more sizes available. These shirts, we've been getting a lot of good reviews from the people that purchased them. A lot of people like them. They're really nice and high quality. So if anyone's interested, inbox me and I'll let you know what sizes we have and we'll take it from there if you're interested. They're still pretty limited and exclusive, so definitely holler at us if you're interested. And it's time to get into the price action today, which kind of finally got some action in the markets. Let's see. Bitcoin is currently at, well, 1 second. Let me give it a live refresh. Bitcoin is currently at $9,405.10. Ethereum is at $246.07. Litecoin is at $45.02. And Chainlink is off the chain right now, breaking its all-time high, resting at $6.28 currently at the time of recording. Gold has broken its all-time high at $1,813.50, and silver's rolling to at $18.85. So as you see or beginning to see, it's a great time to own decentralized assets and to own them in your own possession, meaning you either hold the precious metal or you hold the private keys, the actual Bitcoin, that pure Bitcoin, like Mark Cuban says. He's got that pure Bitcoin because we want that pure Bitcoin, not that derivative bullshit. And as we all heard about the gold market in China, how there was a bunch of fake gold that China had. You can't do that with real pure Bitcoin. Only pure Bitcoin will make it through the Bitcoin network. Bitcoin is faked by derivatives, but if you actually try to send anything but real Bitcoin through the network, it gets invalidated by the miners. And that's why we love the miners, don't we? Supporting the whole network. So miners, keep doing your thing, you know what I mean? And that's all I got to say to y'all. Let's hop into the topic today. The topic is about Bitcoin and third world countries. This article is on wired.com. It's by Cade Metz. This was a while ago, but the date really doesn't matter. It's the information that does. So the topic of the article says why Bitcoin will thrive first in the developing world. Explaining the appeal of Bitcoin to the average American isn't easy. Here in the US, it's not terribly hard to save, spend, and send money. Most people have bank accounts and credit cards, and when they need to send money to a friend, relative, or acquaintance, they can use any number of online services from PayPal and Square to Snapchat and Facebook. For most people, Bitcoin and other digital currencies looks like a solution in need of a problem, a technological end run around big banks and big government that interests only geeks, drug dealers, and crazed libertarians. Indeed, the number of people who use Bitcoin as a currency as opposed to an investment, a bet that its value will rise in time, remains relatively small. The big name online retailer Overstock.com started accepting Bitcoin payments early 2014, and 2 years later, the digital currency accounts for no more than 0.1% of its sales. But the calculus changes as you look beyond the U.S. Bitcoin and other digital currencies like Litecoin and Dogecoin, which pumped 43% today. Oh my gosh, shout out to the youth, man. I love the youth. Apparently these TikTokers are all excited. They're trying to have a mission to pump Doge to $1, and keep up the work, young people, man. I love it. You know what I mean? Anything but USD, how I see it. Damn near, you know what I'm saying? Because I'll take Doge, you know what I mean? It's an inflationary coin, but hey, you know what I mean? The point is the enlightenment. What they know what they're doing. The youth know. The youth are paying attention, and they're hopping on the cryptocurrency bandwagon. So shout out to Dogecoin and the dog meme that started it all, man. You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy for people that understand Doge and the story. It's really interesting, man. It all started from a meme. Isn't that something? It's the internet, man. The internet of things is crazy. It's crazy. But Dogecoin provide a way of inexpensively moving money across borders, an important alternative to a mainstay like Western Union. Perhaps more importantly, they offer a means of spending and storing money if you don't have a bank account or a credit card, which is quite common in developing worlds. Nigeria is a prime example. According to a 2014 report from Enhancing Financial Innovation and Access, a nonprofit backed by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation that aims to promote financial freedom in Nigeria, just 30% of the local population has access to traditional banking services. Only 36% of Nigerians back at this time had access to a banking system. And we know if you don't have a bank, you have to go through Western Union. And guess what? Western Union charges out the wazoo, especially for long transactions like country to country and things like that. So because for PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, guess what you need? A bank account. So these are unbanked people, only 30, and this is just one country, Nigeria, 36%. But most of them in that area actually have cell phones. So with the creation of digital currency, your cell phone is able to play as your bank, which is actually not, because the smart people that are invested have cold storage wallets, and you understand the whole process of moving things from cold wallets to hot wallets, and then to the destination you want to send it to, whether it be an exchange to cash it out for some USD, or you want to buy something, an actual product with your crypto. So and the article continues about another cryptocurrency called Stellar. It says that's why Stellar, which operates a kind of meta digital currency that can move practically any form of money across the internet, is using its technology to create a money transfer network that will span Nigeria and beyond. Working with a company called Oradian, which provides software for small bank-like institutions across Nigeria, Stellar aims to provide an inexpensive means of sending money to friends and family, something that's significantly more difficult in a place like West Africa than it is here in the States. Money already works fairly well in America and Europe, says Stellar founder Jed Michaela, which I completely disagree at. Money does not work fairly. See, that's a CEO who's invested in the dollar bill. That's why I don't like Stellar anyway. But it says, it's just a bogus statement to say right now. But this was an old article, so maybe he changed his tune. So I'll leave it at that. Bitcoin thinker who also founded the influential digital currency service Ripple today, which is XRP. Today, the promise of these digital currencies is most seen in the developing world. And what this article is talking about is something called remittance, which is the process of somebody that lives in the USA sending money back to Mexico. That's a remittance. And that's what they're referring to. It's a huge business. Billions of dollars are charged in fees for people sending their own money, and that's what cryptocurrency helps, because like I said, if you don't have a bank, you have to use another party such as a Western Union for these people who are unbanked, and this is they really just don't have access to these tools that we have in Western societies. You know what I mean? And that's what they're touching on. The real power of digital currencies. This Nigerian network is not something consumers will use on their own, at least not yet. It connects about 20 microfinance institutions, or MFIs essentially. These are companies that provide bank-like services, including loans to people who don't have access to banks. The network allows money to move between these MFIs, something that wasn't really possible before, and it provides people with a means of sending and receiving money through them. The two startups say the network is now available to about 300,000 people who already have relations with these MFIs. So, I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. So, shout out to Stellar, even though I don't like them. Shout out to Ripple XRP. They're not real cryptos in my opinion, but they have this idea of basically like merging the banks with cryptocurrency. But I just don't see that actually working but it will, because I feel like so many people. It's such a grind to try to figure out what cryptocurrency is. It's like, they just don't want to put the time in, and people are interested in other things. So I understand. And Ripple might be the best thing, or Stellar might be the best scenario for somebody who doesn't want to take the time out to to fully dive into cryptocurrency and try to actually understand why Bitcoin and things like that are important. It also says today, if people in the capital want to send money to their family in the countryside, they have to physically put money on a bus in a bag. That's not a tenable situation. I wouldn't say, definitely not there. Probably not even here nowadays in America. So necessary. These people won't necessarily hold their own digital currency. Stellar merely provides the infrastructure for exchanging money. By tapping an array of independent computers across the globe, the system lets someone send any currency and have it arrives as any other currency. So basically, you could send USD through Stellar, and it can arrive there in China as the yuan. That's the idea. So it's basically like what do you call those? Currency exchange that transforms your money into another currency, like USD into yen or yuan or any other type of currency, even other cryptos. So, maybe it does have a place. Like I said, I'm all about the real pure cryptos. I like mining because there's a creation cost, and with money, creation cost is very, very important to a lot of people that actually study money. This is why, like, a lot of big investors, they love gold and silver, because there's a creation cost. It costs the companies that mine the gold and silver a lot of money, time, effort, and danger to get silver and gold. Look it up. I mean, I've watched the shows. It's not easy mining silver. It's not nowhere as easy as printing or digitally typing a couple zeros to make more money. That's what the Federal Reserve likes to do. Bitcoin is very difficult to mine as well. It costs a lot of money and electricity to mine a Bitcoin. That's for people like me that strive for real finances, real money. We like production costs. It costs money to produce damn near anything. And if it doesn't cost money, at least it costs time. But in a place like America, there's no free land available. So if you're going to mine a resource, guess what? Unless you own that property, which you're paying on taxes, at least if you own the property, then you have to pay somebody else to go mine on their property, right? That's how mining works a lot of times. I mean, maybe there is still some free parts of America that you can mine. And if that's the case, please comment and let me know where I can go mine for free. And just let me, I would love to do it. Like mine some Herkimer diamonds, some emerald, some turquoise. If these things exist, let me know, man. I'm all about, I'm like Indiana Jones, you know what I'm saying? We the architect, or you know what I mean, I can't think of the word right now, but you know what I'm talking about, the archaeologists, right? The archaeologists that go and discover, man. That's what I like. I'm a hunter gatherer with advanced technology in this world right now. That's how I'm feeling. So Oradian founder Antonio Saparovic, the project reveals the power of digital currencies not as a consumer technology, but as an underlying infrastructure. When people start using the Bitcoin blockchain for remittances, as I was saying earlier, that's a success, says Saporovic, who was born in South Africa. We're telling people they are using Stellar, where we're telling them that they can send money. they can send now, send money. I think he wrote that wrong. Stephen Pear, the CEO of Bitcoin company BitPay, which helps merchants accept Bitcoin payments in North America, Europe, and Latin America, doesn't yet serve Africa. But he agrees that for Bitcoin, the continent presents a huge short-term opportunity. There is a huge opportunity for Bitcoin to become more mainstream and commonplace in places like that first before it happens in the developing world, he says. Anyone in the world, Stellar Network is still just a first step in order to send and receive money. Customers must visit their local MFI, but in a country where money transfers remain arduous, it's a notable step. According to Enhancing Financial Innovation and Access, more than half of the 17.5 million Nigerian adults who sent money over a 6-month period in 2014 used informal channels such as prepaid debit cards or loved ones who were traveling from place to place. And that's kind of the best that these places have to offer as of right now. But it's funny because these places will still have cell phones. So somehow places like Verizon, AT&T, these big cell phone companies and their ideas have infiltrated third world countries more successfully than banks, as you can imagine, because communication is that important. People need the internet, and that's what's coming next. Is the next thing that's important is finances to these places. And these places might be more awakened in some ways than a lot of Americans. And I'm not going to touch on that. And this article continues. There's a lot of good information in it. I didn't read the whole thing until what I just read to you now. I just kind of skimmed through it. I didn't know it was obviously this sounds like it was written by the CEO of Ripple or Stellar or something like that, and I wouldn't be surprised because that's how they influence things. But it explains really well the impact that cryptocurrencies are having on these third world countries, that Americans and people that are so high on their high horses kind of overlook because we're American. Our bank systems work fine, and those things could change. I'm not an advocate of banks. I don't like third parties holding people's money. I don't like the idea of it because maybe I would accept it if our banks weren't criminal. But if you start diving into some of these big banks, I mean, they've paid billions in dollars in fines for criminal activity, and that's the places that you want holding your money. I mean, our system is just really, really crazy and interesting. So with that being said, I wanted to dive into the next topic, which is just give you guys a few altcoins that I'm currently watching as of right now today. And I'm going to tell you why I'm watching it. One altcoin that I'm currently watching that caught my attention about a month ago was Compound, which is in the red today. And you see all this beautiful green, how everything's up in green. And this is not financial advice. Anything that I say, this is all for entertainment. And for education, but Bitcoin is always a good purchase, and dollar cost average means put what you can afford as you get paid, meaning if you get $1,000 a week, maybe put $50 a week into buying Bitcoin. That's how you get started and dollar cost average into these things, and as you're learning and researching them and starting to gain steam and confidence in what you're putting your money into, learning how to navigate through cryptocurrencies, it all becomes really important. So dollar cost average always into Bitcoin. But besides that, I'm really liking Compound. I haven't purchase any Compound, but now that it's kind of underperforming while everything is overperforming, I'm starting to eyeball it. I'm thinking about making some moves on Compound, but I still think Bitcoin dominance, although it has dropping, is looking for a very, very big spike up, because Bitcoin is the validator of the crypto space. Remember that. So normally when all these altcoins start to pump, it's only a matter of time until a lot of that ends up flowing back into Bitcoin. And it's all about timing. It's all about paying attention, doing your research, due diligence on the topics. And let's talk about our next altcoin, which is one of my personal favorites. I had mentioned it before, Ethereum Classic. Why? Because Ethereum Classic is Ethereum, but it has a market cap, and it's a pretty long running blockchain, and it's 22 on Coin Market Cap of list of coins. It has a pretty good market cap, 675 million. It's kind of been quiet as well. It's starting to gain some steam once again. It's really, a lot of people consider it a miner's coin, but I feel like once ETC finds its niche, And I'm not like big on Ethereum like everybody else is because of the bugs and everything that has already been found and they're continuing to find, and the delay on Ethereum 2.0. So I mean, Ethereum Classic might play Superman to Ethereum one day. I don't know, but it's definitely one of my favorite coins. And I'm going back to talk about one that I've already talked about, which is Theta. And Theta is 44th on this list. It's currently at 24 cents. That is based on the bandwidth technology and basically operating nodes that provide people with other bandwidth. It's basically like a YouTube, but you can tip people, the content creators on it, and whoever else gets on it with another token that they created called Theta Fuel. It's a really good crypto, I feel, and they made good steps. They released their mainnet on the mainnet 2.0. So definitely pay attention to that. And a couple more. Crypto.com token. I'm starting to really like Crypto.com coin. I've been on Crypto.com for over a year now. It's number 10 now. It's skyrocketed into the rankings. It has over a $2.5 billion. Crypto.com is looking legit, man. They offer crazy APR rates on holding your crypto on there. I haven't done it yet because not your keys, not your coins. That's how the old schools that I learned from kind of preached it, and so I might look into it over time. I'm actually working on getting enough MCO and holding it long enough to just get one of the crypto cards. That's really exciting to me because then you can just use a card, and that's based on the MCO token, and that's the next token I wanted to talk about was MCO, which is this is Crypto.com, and MCO is it's low on the list right now. It's at 91. It actually kind of moved up at $4.34. You can and on CoinMarketCap, that's why I like it. You can check the total supply and everything, so you can do more research. But this is MCO at 91, $4.34, and yeah, I think it's another pretty good buy. Maybe not today. See if it kind of retraces a little bit back down into the a low $4 range. I mean, possibly, but remember, if Bitcoin does its thing, then most of the altcoins are going to go up. Most of the good altcoins, they're just not going to go up as much as Bitcoin. So and that leads me to the last thing I wanted to talk about is Bitcoin dominance, which is touching a resistance line right now, and it might bounce off of that, and I wouldn't be surprised. So be careful with all altcoins. Like I say, this is not financial information, but dollar cost average always in the Bitcoin, in my personal opinion, because why? It's the most secure cryptocurrency. It's the longest running blockchain in the world as of 2010. It's been running strong. It was like a penny back then. It's at 9.4K right now. I mean, do the math on that. A penny to 9.4K. That's how you know we are being presented with a new technology in the world, and it's called cryptocurrency, and it all started with Bitcoin. Shout out to Satoshi Nakamoto, man. Whoever you are, I see people every day posting videos trying to figure out who you are. I don't need to know, man. Your invention, your work, judge a man by his work or a woman, and your work just speaks out. It just reverberates throughout my whole being, man. So big shout out to Satoshi Nakamoto, potentially saving the world. But the children, the young people, and I mean, that's all the children of God. Like, we gotta, or whatever. If you atheists, it don't matter. We have to back Satoshi. We have to support the vision and change the world, because that's what we're here to do, is change the world for everyone and open the world up, make the world and its resources available for people that need them, man. And this is what cryptocurrency is all about. The banks have ran rampant for the last 100 years of suppressing certain assets, and all to fuel their ideas, which is built on the backs of everybody who works for these big companies. And this is the time, in out of chaos, great opportunity lies. So make sure you're grabbing the bull by the horns in 2020. Be studying every day. Be diligent in your research. Have faith in what you're doing, and we will get to where we're trying to go. And that's all I have to say. This is your boy Doc Blake with the last piece of the puzzle. Peace.